Oh, look at that. I matched it with the music too. That never happens. Hello for anyone watching. Welcome to Overtures. Excited to be here. Long morning, long week, but we're getting right to it. I'm excited to have you all here. Hope everyone is doing well on this wonderful, lovely Tuesday. Today, welcome to episode 12. Let me start with that before I start introducing my guest. We are here for episode 12. My guest today is currently working as the resident stage manager at Playhouse on Park in West Hartford, Connecticut. Yeah, Hartford, Connecticut. Thought I pronounced it wrong for some reason. Theater has always been a big part of her life, and it makes her really excited to bring new and exciting theater to local communities and smaller audiences. Currently in Tech 4, well, I guess you'll have to wait and find out. I've known my guest today for several years now, and not only is she a talented actor, singer, and tap dancer, but she's incredibly dedicated to everything she does, and I can only imagine she's absolutely shining up there as the resident SM. This is Dana Rudnansky.
Hello. Wait.
Hello.
I'm muted. Okay, good.
No, you're good. You're totally fine. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's so funny. Now that I've opened the curtain, I'm like, oh wow, I'm getting so much light. This is the best light. Now I have to do all my episodes at noon.
Oh, I know. It's I have the weird backlighting, but it's okay.
It's amazing what natural lighting can do, What a concept.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Oh my God. But yes, so for context for those who are watching, how do we know each other? Good old Wagner College.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
and you're representing too.
Yeah, I even have my Wagner marching band sweatshirt on.
I forget, what did you play in the marching band?
I played flute in marching band.
Gotcha.
But in high school, I really wanted to play like trumpet, so I tried to learn and completely failed, and I'm so glad I failed because I would have been bad at it. But
You've been like, no, not for me.
Not the vibe.
No, it's funny. I've always been friends with marching band people. Like back in high school, like my marching band competed and all that other stuff. And my friends were like, why were you never in the marching band? You should have been like on color guard or something. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I thought I could play soccer. I don't know. I'm sorry. I should have done it. But yeah, no, I love me a good old marching band representation moment.
No,
but
I mean, so fun.
I was trying to think of like when we actually met, and I can't like fully think of it. I think I just kind of met your whole class at once, and then that was it. Like I
I think so too.
Can't pinpoint it.
I think so. Wait, no, weren't we in Crucible together?
But that was
second semester.
Yeah, that was the beginning of second semester. So I definitely already knew you by then. That was just like when our friendship solidified.
Yeah. I can't remember. Like I just remember when I got to Wagner, I was like, everyone seems to know everyone, and that intimidated me. And I was like, everyone has to know the drama about everyone. And I was like, I'm gonna try to stay away from everyone as much as possible.
Oh my God.
So,
well, no, I had a similar thing because when I first got to Wagner, like little old me who like was on like the wait list for the performance program part of it was like, oh, all these people got in and I didn't, even though I was literally on the wait list. And so like I isolated myself, which I kicked myself for later because like no one cared. Truly no one cared. But no, I had a similar reaction where I was like, oh God, these people. But like, no, I feel like I probably met you like in the midst of like auditions or things like that because we hit auditions like the second we hit campus. So I feel like it was somewhere in and around there. But it's just funny because I was like, I don't remember.
Wait,
I truly
was
don't.
It maybe I knew Morgan because of marching band. Maybe that.
Honestly, yeah, that's totally it. I don't know.
It.
Yeah, because I think it was like probably like you, Jason, and like someone else in your
Gina,
class. Yeah, because Morgan always like grabs like, oh, these are the cool new people. Honestly, he needs to get on. Like, I have plans for him to be on here, but it's so funny because like so many people. I'm like, oh yeah, I met them through Morgan, like because he knows everyone.
You should just put like a little scoreboard somewhere and be like, oh yeah, these are the people Morgan introduced me to.
No,
these are the people I met by myself.
Yeah, these are the ones that I met on my own without his help. But yeah. But no, we've had so many classes together because like tap, obviously, Shakespeare.
Oh my God.
And I think stage management. Were we in the same stage management class or like separate?
It was separate. I think we were in some Felicia class. I feel like we were in some Felicia class.
Maybe theater history?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
I know. I'm like totally forgetting. I know tap and Shakespeare for sure.
Yeah, we definitely had stuff together. I don't know. It all blurs together at this point.
No, it truly does. It's so funny how it does. But yeah, no. Because I'm like, I know that we had tap together because she has crazy good pullbacks. But like, I'm like, I don't remember. And obviously Shakespeare because like, here's the thing for context, friends. This was not a Shakespeare class in the theater department. It was an English class, and
it was in our major.
Yeah, Yumi and Kellen Gone definitely had some words during that. Yumi, Kellen, and like Austin too, definitely had some words.
Do you remember that she wasn't there for like our midterms? Then we all were just like Googling stuff the entire, or like remember we had a sub and they walked out. And like
I think I
you remember that?
I vaguely do. I don't know how I forgot, but like I think I vaguely do remember that. All I remember is just like the festive spirit and like all that stuff in relation to 12th night. Wild.
Crazy.
That's like when you take random people's academic papers for gospel truth, that can get a little scary.
Oh, for sure.
Well, also it's just like, look, sorry, some sonnets are gay, and we just have to embrace
literally.
that. Oh gosh, yeah. No. It was a fun class. We definitely all bonded and learned so much, but also that professor is a little wild.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. But shit happens sometimes. we have good memories from Wagner College.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I don't know that we've ever talked about this. How did you first get started in theater?
Okay. So growing up, I took dance from like the moment I could walk, basically. Yeah. And for years, my mom tried to get me to do the Tolland Youth Theater because I live in a town called Tolland. And I was like, I won't do it because I'm such a person that like, I need to like, I'm so glad that my parents never were like forcing me to really do stuff that I didn't want. I mean, besides dance, because it didn't really give me like the impetus to want to do it. So I think it was like 8th grade. We finally had a drama club because I went to a really small Catholic school and I was in a play and I was like, oh my God, this is so fun. So then when we got to high school and we were doing Fiddler on the Roof for the musical, I was like, I'm hooked.
You're like, this is it.
Yeah. And it was just funny because like, I can't remember a time where I wasn't like singing growing up. Like we would have Radio Disney on in the car and I would know literally every single word to every song that was playing. And if it was a new song, if it was a new song, I would literally be like sitting there just like getting the words in and like I'd be calling in for the contest. Like I knew it all.
Holy.
And I just think that was like such an informative like part of my childhood because I was like not only like taking all this information and trying to stuff it in my little brain, but I was like, there's so much like music and fun stuff that's what I want to do. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. No, and it's funny because like from 1st through 3rd grade in and around, I lived in Kansas, and being that where we lived, like with Wichita, like we were very close to like a Radio Disney station. Honestly, it might have been like one in Wichita. And so like I was constantly like listening to Radio Disney and all that other stuff. But then when I moved to Indiana, there was like there's not a Radio Disney station that reached where I was because it was probably like there's probably a station in Kentucky and Chicago, and like there's no way those radio waves were going to go that far, and that made me so upset. I remember like the Radio Disney like would like set up in the mall and have like contests and stuff. Like absolutely.
I also when I was younger, my mom used to like bring my sister and I to Broadway shows, so like I remember, this is a super specific memory, but it's my first Broadway show. It was Wicked. We were like probably like 4 or 5 rows behind the orchestra. And I looked up and saw like, you know, there's the dragon on the top of the proscenium. I looked up and started wailing. I was so scared that it was going to come down and attack me that like when the mouth like started like moving, I was like the entire time. And there was like some lady sitting next to me and she was like, it's okay, my son threw up when he came to see Wicked. And I was like, okay, I feel a little bit better. But that's like my first like big theater memory. Yeah. But anytime I think of a Broadway show, I think of that, or when we were supposed to go see Legally Blonde on Broadway. And I think I threw up in the morning, so we like couldn't drive to New York. And I was like, no, I want to see this so bad.
Legally Blonde. Oh yeah. My God. That's so funny. I love that the woman like calmly was like, don't worry about it. I've gone through, like, my son has gone through the same thing.
And she talked to me. It wasn't even like she told my mom. She was like, no, you'll be fine. I was like, okay.
You're like, okay, random woman, that's fine. Oh my God. So was doing like Fiddler in high school and things like that, was that like your Overture light bulb moment of like, oh, this is what I want to do with my life? Or was that like a little bit later on or earlier?
I think like that was like the moment that I was like, okay, I could see myself doing this. I think I always like along the lines of like me knowing all the lyrics to everything, I knew the entire Wicked cast album front to back with who was like everyone. And I was like looking at it now, I'm like, that's weird that I knew that. So that was probably something. But I think once it was like my junior year of high school, we did Anything Goes. And I was like, Reno and Anything Goes. And then people kept being like, yeah, you're like good at this. And I would be like, no, I'm not. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just like, playing the lead. I'm not good at this.
Like, and I was just so shocked that I was like, I don't think that's real. Like, but I think that's what made me be like, theater is a thing I could do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I saw that so many people were just so into the show and like coming to see something that took them out of whatever was going on was just such a cool thing for me. So
yeah, no, absolutely. I definitely have had moments like that where it's like, oh, this thing that I did on stage like actually affected someone. That's cool. Like,
yeah.
Who'da thunk?
Yeah.
These days, how would you describe yourself in terms of like, I guess, not to be like, what's your label? Because like, I know you as an actor, a singer, a dancer, director, stage manager, and even a
Yeah.
producer in many ways. But like, how would you like list those for yourself?
I would probably say like stage manager's the top because I think at the end of college I was having like a really hard time like discerning, especially with COVID. It like messed up my
Yeah.
idea of what I wanted at all. And so I remember I was like always the honorary like tech kid by the end of college that I was like, maybe I should switch and I'll be a tech person for real. And then once I started working at Playhouse and then got like up to resident stage manager and realized like after talking, this was another weird, like people were telling me I was doing great. And I was like, literally, what am I doing? I'm just like being here doing my job. That I was like, this is like, I can see myself working on a Broadway show in this role to the point where I'm like, I want to go to grad school for this and like figure this out more type of a thing.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, I mean, that's for like hopefully a couple years down the line. But
Well,
like,
yeah, but like
yeah.
obviously getting the practice that you're getting right now is going to be incredibly helpful heading into that. Like that's so awesome.
Sure.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
When we were at Wagner, you did a lot of performing, like as you were saying, but I feel like you were just saying, you definitely got more involved with like the production sides of things. Because like I remember, like obviously we did student run theater together, Crucible. Shout out to like the random men's roles. Crucible cast party,
you know.
But like also even when the student theater run companies, you were on like the producing side of it, theater advisory board, even like Broadway Cares, you did a lot of stuff, and that's really cool because now we can like look back and see like, oh, this all of that plays so much into your stage management now because so much of it's like the coordinating and producing.
Well, yeah, it was like interesting because when I got to Wagner and I kept auditioning for stuff freshman year, I got Crucible. I think it's because Michael knew me and I was like, whatever, like it was good. But I remember I didn't get into Assassins, the student run show, and I like loved that show. And I was like, I will literally do whatever. So I remember emailing Molly Kilker and I was like, what do you need? And she was like, oh, a props designer. And I was like, I have no idea how to do that. I'm going to do it. And I just like did it. And I really could not recognize that like spontaneity in myself now because I'm like, in what world would I just be like, yeah, I can do that with no knowledge? And then it like brought me into this whole other side that like I didn't know was like as cool as it is. Like it, and then like there were just more people that I met at Wagner that like snowballed into like me finding other niches like in theater that I wanted to like swing around and do. So
yeah, well, and I'm sure also like luckily we got to take stage management with Arturo Perazzi, the PSM on Come From Away on Broadway, and like like I know that I will not be pursuing stage management, but getting to know everything that's involved, like it's wild, and and like what he taught us was just so wonderful and informative. Like I'm sure you gathered so much from it, and I'm sure you've also like reached out since then being like, hey, what am I doing?
Yeah. Well, no, it's funny because I mean I did reach out to him, didn't respond. So if Arturo, you're watching this, you owe me an email. But it was interesting because like again, this is another scenario where like Vanessa Rabiel and I, who if people watching don't know her, she's in Lora's class. She's at grad school for Columbia, at Columbia,
at Columbia, stage management.
For stage management. She was like the reason I really got into stage management because I was the dramaturg for a workshop. And then she was like, you should just apply to be the assistant stage manager. And from then on, I was like, wait, this is like really fun. Like you can like you're doing hard work, but you're also like kind of screwing around a little bit behind the table with each other. Like it was like a lot of fun. And I learned so much from that and from Arturo that when I got into like stage managing my first professional show by myself, I obviously was terrified, but I was like, I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like I was walking in completely blind. So that was very cool.
No, that's super amazing. And like this kind of is tying into something that you had said that you wanted to talk about, and like leading up to this conversation is like some of the weird roles we found ourselves like on the path of where we are today. Because like you had mentioned, like I've never done props designing before, and I know for me, I had a similar situation when like one of the student run companies did 12th night, because I wanted to be in it so badly, but I like there was some really amazing actors who fit better in the roles, and I was like, okay, how can I be involved? Like, help me out, let's do this. And they were like, we need a costume designer, and I was like, sure. But I think what helped with that, at least for me, was I was like, okay, well, I know that everyone's going to be pulling from their closets.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to make it a little bit easier. But I think when you're so motivated to work on a particular project, you're like, give me anything, I'll do it. And I think those are like really great examples of that.
Yeah. And I also would say, like, I think I also, because I was so like, not that I was lost in college, but like I didn't know necessarily after college, like what I was going to fall into. I was just like, I'm going to try everything. I'm going to take as many tech classes as I can. I'm going to like learn everything, talk to everyone, and like Google stuff, go on blogs. Like I did so much random research that I always think like that really brought me to where I am. Like if I wasn't just like in, like I was in the books in classes, but I also was like trying to be like, what is happening in the world? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, like you were seeing all these different starting points, and you jump down these rabbit holes to go, okay, but what does this person fully do? Right. And I think, and like, granted, I believe this in terms of actors and directors as well, but like the more that you get to know what each person's job is, how they function in this whole like gear system, etc., that's just going to make you better at your job.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and I think that's something that you and I also both learned by taking directing at Wagner too, because like, I'm trying to think, did you get a chance to take directing too, where we did originals?
Yeah. So the thing with our originals was it didn't happen because of COVID.
Yes. So you guys did radio play versions.
Well, it was either like we had an option to do it. Like I personally, I know that like once we hit the end of my senior year, when we were like submitting our finals, I was like, get me off of my computer, to the point that I was like, I'm not going to put any extra effort in. Like I had started working at a grocery store because I was like, I can't be with my family. Like I know we're in a pandemic, but I need to make money. I need to not be in my house. So I was like kind of putting the end of my senior year on the back burner, which like sucked, but also I was on the computer.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what that has to do with your question, but that's what happened to me. So
no, I was just thinking of like being a part of originals, and like, because I know for me a big part of working on originals where we were like all students producing these original 10-minute plays and working with student designers was building that like communication, being like, how do you talk to a lighting designer and tell them this is what I want? And I was thinking like, oh, if you had been able to do the radio play, like how did that translate in terms of like telling your actors how to act with their voice, or like things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I was interested in it, but I also had like people that were just like all over the country that I was like, I mentally cannot coordinate this right now.
Oh, absolutely. Like right in the thick of the pandemic, you're like, I don't have the spoons.
Yeah, no,
simple
I was
as
just
that.
Like, you know what? Like if Mickey's telling me I don't have to do this, I'm not going to do it. Like, and Ross Coughlin wrote our script. I was like, if he's saying he doesn't care, great. We're just not going to pursue it if it doesn't have to be pursued. So
but I can also imagine like, I mean, obviously you were able to completely finish directing 2, but you did have directing 1, and so I'm interested to see how much directing training how did that affect you, like maybe as a stage manager? Is there anything that you like bring along with you?
I always think like Mickey always said like you need to come, like if you don't have, you have to have some sort of an answer to whatever. I remember he would say that, and I remember talking to one of the directors I just worked with, and he was like, listen, my whole thing is I don't have the answers. And in that moment I was like, I remember directing class, and we're talking about different types of directors and what it's like to work with them, and I was like, oh my God, I'm seeing this person and this person. And like each, like, it's been interesting because I've been finding like a better way to communicate with people that's not like pointing the finger, which was a big thing I learned in directing class.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's been like my big thing I've grown in, is how I've been able to communicate with other designers and people on the team. So I would say that's been like the biggest thing I took from that class.
Yeah,
Sure.
especially because like if you're getting to know all these different types of directors, that allows you to be like, okay, how can I keep the ball moving as a stage manager in the room? I'm sure.
Yeah. Because I mean, in the past 3 shows, like our current show, our director is very like boom, 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 boom. And it's like, it's not like a bad thing. Like it's a good vibe. Everyone's happy. The last show, Sasha, if you are watching this, because I know you follow me on Instagram, this is out of love. But he's just like kind of loosey-goosey. He's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a great time. I'm not saying anything bad. But and then our show before that, our director was like kind of like this, but not, and like kind of not communicative, to the point that I was like, I just need to rewire my brain and learn how to communicate with everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say having that in my back pocket has been really helpful.
Yeah, just that ability to adapt, to go, okay, what's your style? How can I help you / this production?
Right.
Yeah. And so you're currently the resident stage manager for Playhouse on Park. How did this come to be? Because I don't think I ever gathered how.
So like no one really knows how this happened, but it's like some like my close, like really close friends, like roommates from college and stuff do. But basically I was working at the grocery store at an Aldi through the whole pandemic, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, do I move to New York? Is it safe for me to move to New York? What am I going to do when I move there? And I just had so many lingering questions that I was talking to my mom, and there's Playhouse on Park in West Hartford. My sister took dance classes with one of the artistic directors forever ago, and she like loved my sister. And I was like, hi, my name's Dana. My sister was this person. I need an internship. I need to do something. So I started interning, I want to say like August of 2020. And I was working like in the education department, and I was doing like puppetry classes with the kids.
Oh, that's so perfect. Because because you did a lot of puppetry with, at Wagner too.
Yeah. So I did like kids classes, and then and I had talked about like, oh, I have stage management experience, like in my interview, just like off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And then we get to March of this past year, 2021, and Sean, who was the other artistic director and I was taking acting lessons from at the time, because I was just like doing it all because I was trying so hard. He was like, hey, we need a stage manager for these 2 kids shows for our festival. Do you want to do it? And I was like, yes. Oh my God. Thank God I don't have to work at Aldi. I'm going to do this. So I did that for over the summer, and just safe to say it was like kind of a shit show, because it was like outdoor theater, COVID,
oh God,
not kids. Outdoor theater, getting kicked out of the space. Well, we didn't have kids. It was shows for kids, and they were just like kind of, they're good shows, but it was just like everything was all over the place. And then I applied to be the assistant stage manager for the next season, and I got it, which was like so exciting, because I was like, you know what, I could do this. And then there was some like staffing shifts, and then in the middle of the first show of the season, I had to get moved up to stage manager, and they were like, yeah, you can stay as long as you want. You're great at your job. And I was okay, this is some like weird happenstance situation that just worked out and like made me figure out this is what I want to do, which is like, I hate to say it, but was like a COVID blessing. Like I don't think COVID is good, but it really helped me figure out a lot of stuff that I was going through at the end of college to like figure out who I am more. So
absolutely. Yeah. And once you have that chance to like bite at something else, you're like, oh, please, thank God.
Yeah. And it's been cool because like each show has just been so different. And like, I've been working with like our master electrician, who's also our technical director. He does lighting design for the plays. And I'm like, I feel like I have like a person I can go to if I need to. Like, I feel very like good about what I'm doing and how I'm learning more things as I'm working with these people who have like crazy resumes. And I'm like, how have you gotten here? Like, this is crazy to me. So
yeah. That's so special and so exciting. And
Yeah.
being like, I going back to when you were first like starting on the stage management of like the kids plays and things like that,
Yeah.
I wonder, like, because what all did you have to deal with as a stage manager? Because like this was like the beginning of like when theater was quote unquote
Yeah.
coming back, especially regionally. What all
Yeah.
did you have to deal with in those moments?
So we were supposed to do this big like festival on a farm, which eventually, because of issues on the farm's stance, like not our fault, we got kicked back into the theater, and
Oh my
we were
god.
supposed to have this big festival outside. So we were like literally like my cast of 3, um, my director, my 2 stage management interns were like under a tent doing theater with like trunks and boas and like all of
Mm.
this kid stuff. And like I remember like just because like of the craziness of it, I didn't have designers either, so the director and I were like designing stuff. So I was like getting a screw gun and putting handles on stuff and like running around like a crazy person. um so I would say it was genuinely like it was so rewarding because I learned more about my skill set, but also I was like, there are literal bugs and birds pooping on my script right now, and now we're not even going to be outside. So what was it worth being outside for like this month that I was?
Oh my god.
So it was kind of crazy. I mean, we also had to like, I also sprained my ankle, and I
Oh.
also got mono over the summer while I was stage managing. So I was like, I would say that since I've started stage managing at Playhouse on Park, I've gone through literally everything I could, and I'm like, I'm still here and I'm still agile. So
You're
I
like,
must
look,
be
if I
okay.
can make it through all of that, I think
And
I'm
COVID.
good. And COVID, I
Yeah.
think I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's so funny. So like you've
Yeah.
only really been there like over a year, which is crazy
Yeah.
to begin with, but also even less so like in this stage management position, which is so exciting.
I
And
know.
like
It's
I know we
really
haven't
cool.
gotten to talk about it. So congratulations, because that's so
Thank you.
awesome and so exciting.
Thank you.
Are there any favorite moments that you've had from like working on shows? We'll talk about Five Guys Named Mo in a second, but
Okay.
like other moments that you really, really loved.
There was in our last show, which was Miss Bennett, Christmas at Pemberley. If you don't know, it's a Lauren Gunderson play that's like the unofficial sequel to Pride and Prejudice. It's
Gotcha.
really fun. Um, the cast was just like, I mean, we still have the group chat going, but like it was just such a family that was like, they would come in, they would do like a check-in at the beginning of the day, they'd have their coffee from the Keurig, and then we'd like go out and get drinks, and like we would do stuff that felt like a family. That I think like my favorite moment from all of that was when we came together and did like a secret Santa for Christmas.
I
And it
love
was
that.
like, I feel like I'm like finally with a group of people that are just like enveloped in each other again, like a real friend group. Because I think that's been the hard thing for me with COVID is like all my friends are in New York, and I have this position in Connecticut where I'm like, I'm trying to balance both, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so special. I love that.
Yeah.
It like that
Yeah.
feeling of like, oh, like I'm actually like in a cast again or working with a cast again. Like we are all working towards this thing. And
Yeah.
like when you feel that bonding moment, you're like, okay, it's good to be
Yeah.
back. Even
Yeah.
if it's
Yeah.
only for a short little while, it's good to be back.
Yeah. And I think like it was also nice to just like have all of these random jokes, and like the fact that we still send like, or people will still send like TikToks or like random things we find on Instagram about like Pride and Prejudice, or the fact that I'm talking about Succession with someone in the cast still, like, you know what I mean? Like it's stuff like that I'm like, I forget that this is still a part of theater, and it's like one of my favorite parts of it. So
yeah. Like the biggest thing is like, obviously we want to be able to work on shows and produce things, but it's just like, it's those friendships and bonds that we're all like aching for sure.
Yeah.
So you're currently stage managing a production of Five Guys Named Mo at Playhouse on Park. Tell me about that. What's the show about?
So it's about 5 guys named Mo. I mean,
Beautiful.
They're a band. So they're a band. And there's another character named Nomax. He like basically just like his girlfriend left him, and he's like drunk. And then the 5 guys pop out of the radio because it's all music by Louis Jordan. So it's like all like it's kind of like his dream getting through the breakup and realizing he messed up. to like find her again. And it's just like high energy. People are like jumping around, singing their faces off. It's like, it's honestly so much fun. And I'm really blessed to have like such a good group of people that like were so helpful when I was out with COVID last week.
Yeah, because that was another thing I was going to ask about.
Yeah. So I
was going to say, what's it like to stage manage with COVID remotely?
So it's like not a thing. Like, I'm not going to lie. I was like,
You're like, it doesn't exist.
I was on Zoom like for 8 hours, and I'd be like watching, and then I'd like get an email and like go to the, like, I wasn't like fully there, but I was like obviously there, but I don't think I was as plugged in as I would be in the room.
Right.
And I would try to do like, I wasn't super sick, so I was able to at least stay awake, but I would like try to do prop tracking, and I would literally be like, what prop is what? And like, I just couldn't do it. Like, you can't. It was really cool because when I came back, I was like, oh, this is what I've been missing. The entire, like, how it feels to be in a room.
Oh my
So
God.
it's like, it was just weird because I didn't like, I understood what was going on, but I also was like so removed enough that I was like, I don't know what's going on, you know?
Yeah, because like the big thing about being a stage manager is like noticing things that other people aren't taking notice of and making note of it because you know it's going to be important later on.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I felt bad for Carly, who's my assistant stage manager, because she was like doing blocking notes for me, and then like prop tracking. We just were like, I don't know. But I mean, it was definitely interesting. I'm hopeful that will not have to happen again. I'm hoping, but who knows?
And I'm sure it must have been a really interesting experience for like your ASM. So it's like, okay, you're kind of running rehearsal now because like, yeah, you yourself are in the room on Zoom, but like he or she or they're going to have to run the rehearsal because they're there.
Right. And like, all I could do was be like, okay, Carly, we're at a 5. I don't know if they're going to hear me on Zoom. Can you call it? Or I'd be like, okay, we're at a 5. Please take the 5.
You're like shouting from Zoom. You're like, hey, I don't know if
like,
you could hear me over the music, but it's time. It's time to take
literally,
your 5.
Literally.
Oh my gosh. So why should people come see Five Guys Named Mo?
Oh, well, okay. It is so much fun. We had some designers come in yesterday, and like, they like obviously know the show, but they were like, oh my God, it's so fun. Like, honestly, I would say this year has already been like pretty stressful for everyone. And it's honestly like such a good thing to just come see and like laugh and be happy and like see such talented people on stage, because these guys are like, I don't know how they have any energy to do anything because they're just going all the time.
Yeah.
No, I would say you need to come see it if you're around Connecticut.
Yeah, because I think you were saying before we got on here that like it's like practically go like from song to song to song to song. Like there's maybe a few lines in between. So these guys are just like it's right out of the gate to the end. It's a sprint.
Yeah, and like the guys playing the 5 Mo's are like either singing every song or like they have like a few minutes off stage for like someone else's song. But that's not till really act 2. They're like running, they're throwing stuff, they're talking to people in the audience, they're doing splits. Like they're just going all over the place that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But it's really cool. And it's also cool because Jacquez, who's in our show, he was in one of the shows I did over the summer. So it was really nice to like have someone that I knew going in, and like someone that I get like really like. So it's been cool to see him in like a different capacity too.
Yeah, getting to work with an actor like in a completely different role in that way must be really fun.
Yeah, it is.
Have you had any like fun or funny moments in rehearsal that are memorable?
Oh gosh, there's so much that's just happened. I mean, I can't even, I gotta think. We had our band there the first time yesterday, and I would say like, because the band is on the stage, so the saxophone player is like right in the front on the platform near where the actors are. And I think just like watching him react and be like, did they really just like say that or like do that? honestly was like so funny. I know I missed a lot of like fun moments while I was out because everyone was like in person the day I got sent home.
Of course.
So I think I missed some stuff, but I mean, it's just been so much fun that I don't even know if I could come up with like one moment, you know?
Yeah, no, that's totally understandable.
Yeah.
So when does it begin running? Because I know you're not quite in tech yet, but you're almost
Yes.
there.
So we're in tech this week. I just need to look at my calendar because,
No, absolutely.
we open next Friday, the 28th at 8, and then we run through the entire month of February to the 27th.
Oh, wow. So plenty of times to like come catch the show.
Yes, we have 2 shows on Saturdays, and then we have matinee on Tuesday. We only have 1 show on Tuesdays, but it's a lot of fun. I'm excited.
That's awesome.
We also have a swing, which is good. So
oh, awesome. Yes. No, because I was talking, me and Angie had a whole conversation about swings the other episode. So I'm glad to hear that a show as high energy as yours has a swing or an understudy or just anything to help out.
Well, yeah, we had swings for our last show, and I was like, we need swings for every single show. Like, I don't care. Like, I just have been like very much like with COVID, it just, you have to have swings, you know?
Yeah.
You should anyway, but you know.
Yeah, no, because I was saying like I was amazed at how much we didn't really think of swings or understudies in college, and these days it's just like no, it's necessary now.
Yeah, for sure.
Like whether be it COVID or otherwise, like it's just simply necessary.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, how can people get tickets for Five Guys Named Mo?
So if you go to the website for Playhouse on Park, you'll go under the tab. I think it says on stage or shows, and then it's the first tab. Then it'll have the whole season. You can click on that. It also pops up right when you get on the website. But or you can let me know if you know me.
Yeah, there you go. Contact Dana. Get those good tickets. But yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Do you have any other like shows coming up past that? Being that you're stage managing, what else do we have in store this year?
So we'll have more. We have comedy nights at the theater, so we bring in comedians. We do fun. Cute little comedy nights. They're like an hour and a half. We're also going to be having, not sure when the next one is. We have play readings. So like we'll get plays submitted, and then we kind of do like a play in a day workshop of like not a stage reading, like a reading of it. Mm-hmm. And we just did one right before we started the last show. So I can't even remember what month that was. But those are really fun. So we'll have more of those. And then next up, we have a dance show, which is one of our artistic director, Darlene. She has a dance group. It's all like people that she's taught in classes before, and they put on a big like show. It's really fun. It's all to divas of like music and stuff like that.
Oh, amazing.
And they were supposed to do it before COVID. Like they were in tech.
Oh, wow.
And then they had to get shut down in the middle of tech. So they've been like restaging it and remounting it the past year.
Oh, that's so exciting.
I know. I'm really excited for it. And then we have The Adventures of Dr. Wonderful and Her Amazing Dog, which is a theater for young audiences show by Lauren Gunderson and Brie Loudermilk. So it's going to be really fun. That's in the end of March to April, I think. I'm trying to get all my dates right.
No, that's okay. And if we don't have them correct, that's okay. I can put a link for like Playhouse on Park in the description of the video. Go find out.
And then we also have, we just have so much going on. Then we have
that's amazing,
Agitators. We have the Agitators after, which is, I'm blanking on exactly who it's about. So I'm not going to say it's a 2-person play. So don't.
That's amazing.
No one flag me at Playhouse if I can't remember.
And you'll be SMing all of these?
Yeah, so I'm SMing all of these. So it's like I go back. And then we're doing
amazing.
I know, it's really exciting. And then for the summer we're doing Pippin for a musical. So
how fun.
And if anybody's looking for auditions, backstage and actors access, so always look.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And it must be so rewarding also to be able to put on this like caliber of theater so close to home.
Yeah, it's like it's really cool because like like I didn't know this area of West Hartford well. Like I just didn't go into West Hartford a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, this is so close to like this place that I used to go when I was younger, or like this. Oh my god, a bird just hit the window. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. That scared me so bad. It's all windows in this room.
No, I heard it too. I was like,
so
oh
sorry.
No, you're
so
fine.
sorry.
You're fine.
But it's like very cool too, because like I can tell like my aunts or my uncles like, hey, come see the show we're working on, and then it's like I feel like I'm just coming like I'm coming to my childhood home doing professional level theater. That's like, who would have thought this is like what would have been shaking out? So it's very cool.
Yeah,
sure.
and like you get to like be at home like with your parents and get to like cherish that time and like see your family often, which is really, really wonderful.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, how rewarding and exciting. It's crazy that we're kind of like nearing the end of this episode. I told you it goes very quickly.
I know you said that, but I'm like, I've been like looking over at the timestamp, and I'm like, what do you mean we've been talking about this for like 15 minutes? Like, what?
Yeah, like, wait, what do you mean we're like 46 minutes in? Like,
yeah,
it's insane. But where can people find you, like on the internets and all that good stuff?
So don't go to my website because I'm updating it. So
amazing.
Just ignore that.
When you update it, let me know. I'll go back into the description for this video and I'll add newfound website.
I'm pretty sure my Instagram is my first name dot my last name.
I can check really quick just to verify.
I genuinely like, I'm the worst because I don't really like social media in any capacity. So like if someone
Dana Rudnansky. Yep.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. And I don't use my Twitter, so I would say Instagram is probably the best way, unless you want to friend me on Facebook.
Beautiful.
Just let me know.
Amazing. And then obviously go see Five Guys Named Mo and like literally anything and everything else this season has to offer. For those watching, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lora_Marjoram, website www.loramarjoram.com. You can find this lovely show here on Instagram, or on Instagram, not here, at Overtures Show. There's 2 S's. It looks weird, but it's right. And then obviously you can find here on YouTube, search Overtures Show, subscribe, like all that good stuff. That'll help. Next stream will be this upcoming Saturday at 7 p.m. with Madeline Kendall, which is so fun because like you guys literally lived in the same suite together. It's such a small world. But yeah, Dana, do you have any like final thoughts for viewers live and in the future?
I would just say if any viewers are like having a hard time figuring out like what path they want to do, because like you have so much room to figure it out, just like keep trying and like something's gonna work out. If you keep just putting yourself out there, it'll all work out, I would say.
No, I think that's great, fantastic advice. Just like keep trying a little bit of everything. You'll find something.
Exactly.
No, such wonderful words of wisdom. But thank you for everyone who tuned in and all that good stuff. We'll see you Saturday or anytime else in the future. But yeah, bye.